as you can see, got a bit of a fire going, making a bit of coffee. It's too dark to video anything else, so I'll show you around Cap's setup later or in the morning and show you what we've got. Just wanted to give you an introduction. Nice pot of coffee bubbling away on the fire. Just give you a view of the camp I used last night. It was too dark to video when I got in, so, and then it was really cold, so the camera battery wasn't functioning properly. So just give you a view. Used a hammock last night, which is not something I do very often. You can see the hammock there. And attachings on the side. I just use this is one of those poly ropes, but it's a towing rope, so it's quite strong. I think it's got a 950 kg brake strain, and I've just got a small D clamp there, which just goes through a loop on the slip knot there and comes down here, and I put a steel carabiner through the hammock and just attached that with another slip knot there. That's my Gore-Tex jacket I had there in case it was raining when I got up this morning, then I would be able to put it on before I went out. Camera bag, that was supposed to be my filming light, but didn't manage to do much filming last night. And then what I did with the top is I've got it attached there just with a rubber tent loop, and then just pull the loop of the top through and put a stick through, and it goes down to the peg there. Put in the ground there. And I did the same on the other side. On this one side, it's the same sort of arrangement there. Down to the peg there. And then I've got it open now, as you can see, but during the night I closed it down, took this guy line down, this one, and I attached it to a peg that I made. Let me see, we're not really sure where it is anymore. There's the peg there. Somewhere. And what I did is I closed it down so that I had quite a closed up A-frame to keep the heat in, and also just to keep the wind out, because the wind was coming from this direction here, so it would have blown straight in to onto the hammock. So that was my sleeping arrangements. And then in here I've got my Softy 9 sleeping bag. That's the Softy 9 there. And on the outside of it I've just got a Tesco one season, and that's just my inflatable pillow. Inside a Belgian army bivy bag, which I've put a zip in, because otherwise it's a right pain trying to get in and out of this sleeping bag at night, or even trying to get into it to go to bed can be a bit of a pain with these bivy bags that close up. So I just put a zip in it to match the zip on the sleeping bag, and I just put that there just to air it out as my night shirt. That's my clothing bag. That's where my sleep socks, this fleece, and my balaclava that I used last night. It went down to -1 last night, so slept nice and warm like that though, which was good. And I had a bit of a fire over here, not a big fire, just a little fire, just to keep me a bit warm. And I suspended my cooking pots on here, just like this. I was going to use a pot hook and then decided I didn't really need one, so I just suspended that there like that. And used it to boil some water that I'd got from the pond nearby, and it's just your usual sort of pot stand with a fork stick there in the ground, and then this long stick coming down here, and just pegged there just to keep it nice and stable. Yeah, that's it really. That's my brew kit. It's got all my tea, coffee, sugar, milk, everything in it. And it just goes on the bag. That there is my sit mat, but I'll show you a bit of a nifty trick I do with this. This inside here is this reflective, this was on an old car windshield sun protector, it's seen better days, so I trimmed it up nicely, as you can see, and I folded it up and I use it as a sit mat in this bag. But also at night I open it out. It's 1.70 meters by 60 wide in centimeters, and I put it in my hammock. I have a sheepskin that I sleep on, and then I put that underneath this sheepskin, and it keeps me nice and warm. Stops the convection, loss of heat through convection. So that's pretty it. Nothing really special this time around. I've got a new pack which I'm trying out. I'll show you that in detail at a later stage once I get used to it. I've got an idea of it, and I've just suspended it with a stick, a slip knot, piece of paracord, which just goes around the tree there, and just keeps me pack off the ground. And then there's just a waterproof cover that I made for another pack. What else can I show you? Only other thing really is I used the millbank bag last night to filter the pond water, and then I also put it through this because I wasn't sure whether there were chemicals from the runoff from the road in there, This is just one of those folding silicone dog food bowls. I had a spare one that I didn't use for my dog. And then this is a Kenwood water filter cartridge. And I just ran the water through there into my belly cans, and that it's got activated carbon in it, so it'll take the chemicals out. And actually, I was actually quite impressed, because it actually improved the taste of the water, which I was impressed by, because I used this water before and it's got a bit of an aftertaste on it. I dealt with that quite well. So that was my setup last night, and I'm just going to go for a bit of a walkabout now before I pack up, because I'm just waiting for this condensation. I don't know if you can see it. There's a lot of condensation on the tarp here, in the inside, from the breathing and all that, I suppose, and from the ground. So the top got a bit, well, it was covered in ice this morning, both inside and out. So I'm just letting it dry out a bit, and before I pack it away. If it's not completely dry, I'll have to dry it at home, because obviously I'm time limited as to how long I can be out here. But this woods is really dense, and it's a secondary growth wood. It was an old quarry, but as you can see, it's really thick, and there's not much places to camp, but I managed to find a nice little spot here with those nice two trees, big trees there. Okay, while I'm having my coffee, or rather tea, I just thought I'd show you something that I had rigged up to make things a bit easier. This is a table, and what I've done is I've used a loose clip there just to hold 3 sticks together, as you can see. And then it's quite thin sticks, they're not very thick. On the top I have attached some, it's just like a cake cooling rack, which I got bought at some beach sale or the other, and I've attached it here and here, and third one over there, just with a zip tie, just from a pound choppy place. But what I've also done is where the grill sits, I have put I don't know if you can see that. I've made a notch for each place where the grill sits, so that it's got something to, it's got like a groove to sit in, so that it's nice and firm. And then I've just got this piece of plate here on the top, just because that's where I put it when I was finished with it. And that's the table, finished article. So that's quite handy, putting things on. And then what I've done over here is made myself a stool. I've taken some canvas, and I have taken a double layer canvas, and I have stitched some pockets underneath, also double layer canvas, and then I've edged it with some soft leather and some really strong stitching. Let's see if I can zoom in on the stitching for you to see. It's really strong leather stitching braid, impossible to break by hand. And so what I've done is stitched it all around like that, just to make it really strong. The size of this I gauged by an old one that I had that had broken, and then once again I've used the hose clips to hold the poles together. So that gives me a nice stool. So when I pack up, I just take me piece of canvas and me hose clips, and that's all I carry. And then for the table, I just carry the cake cooling rack and a hose clip or Jubilee clip, and so it gives me a stool and a table. And then obviously I've got my hammock chair, which I use, but obviously the stool comes in really handy when you're sitting by the fire and you're cooking. So that's a handy bit of kit to have. And yeah, and there's just my sit mat, which I use for kneeling on, etc, etc. Nothing fancy. I'll just put it on my stool just to make it a bit more comfortable for me butt. Well, that's it for sort of projects that I've done this time. Just the table and the stool. And oh yeah, I need to show you the firebox, so I'll come back to that in a mo. When I pack it up, I'll show you how it all goes together. And the hobo stove, which you've seen working, which is just sitting inside the firebox for now. So see you in a bit. Okay, I'm just going to show you the firebox and show you how it goes together. So I've got a thin piece of stainless steel gauze there, and then I've got one of these cake racks there, and then I've got two tubes that slot through, which are being very uncooperative today. They're going to come out. The sides just slot on. So we've got slots there and a slot there, which matches up with that slot there. And the same on the other side there. So I'll just try and let's get these out. Those are the tubes. This one's being particularly awkward today. There we go. And then that one comes out. So basically what you've got is the bottom pan, a side with a slot there, and a slot on the bottom, which mates up with that there, and then same again for the other side, mates up with that there, and then these two slots just slot in on the sides, and like I say, that goes in the bottom with these two stainless steel rods. And this is a plumber's soldering mat, and I put this underneath the box, and it actually prevents any scorching of the earth. You can see that's where I had the firebox, and there's no scorching there. And the grill that goes on top goes there, and all folds nice and flat and goes into that bag. And that sticking out the top is what I used for the table. So that's how that goes together, and I'll see you. Right people, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks very much for watching, and take care and be safe out there.